What's going on, YouTube? Thanks for watching again. We're having a little casual Friday day here today, so coming to you from the Motel 6 because we couldn't afford $7 a night. Kidding. We are in a motel though, sort of.
Welcome to Thoughts Not Facts.
I'm Kevin.
And I am Jennifer.
TK's Garage 405.
And free and on the road.
Yeah, appreciate you guys watching again. So just gonna do something again a little bit different here. We're trying to trend in some different things here as we kind of go on with the show, trying to get a few different ideas. And one thing that we really like to do a lot of, and we figured it would be something that we could kind of talk about here since we've had some recent um, activity, I suppose, with it, is I want to talk about like live performances and some people we've seen recently that did a really good job, we feel like, and kind of talk about why we go to all these concerts, I guess, and things like that. So I guess you can kind of start off what we sort of got into there. So
yeah, so I think it was about a month ago. I had gotten a notice. I don't know, maybe on my Facebook or my Instagram, that SADIE Bass was performing in Van Buren, which is like the next town over from where we live. And I was super excited. I had actually seen her clip when she was on The Voice, and I had heard her music. I don't know if I just heard it on YouTube or how I heard it, but there's a couple of her songs that I really loved, and I thought it would be such a cool experience. She's like a new up and coming artist, and we always were trying to go see different and new artists. So I told him, I said, "Hey, do you want to go?" And he's gone a lot, but I knew he'd be home because it was the day before our anniversary. So we ended up getting tickets and going to the vault with some friends for our anniversary, the night before our anniversary.
Yeah, it was interesting because I had actually never really. I had heard a couple of Sadie's songs, but like really, like to be totally honest, I don't listen to the radio a whole bunch. I get so entangled in certain things. Like she'll tell you if I hear like a artist I like or something, I'll just listen to it like a bunch until I just pretty much
Until
almost
everybody
like
else is
tired out of it and things like that. So it's kind of bad, but whatever. But I used to listen to a lot of the radio. Now I kind of just listen to other things or whatever, so I don't hear as much of the new music. But she was excited about it. And I said, "Yeah, let's go." So it was
it was a cute little venue. We've actually never been there before. I'd actually been wanting to go for a while, and we'll probably do more concerts there. The venue was just right off a restaurant. There's like a restaurant, like a bar. It's called the Vault Bar. I don't remember the exact numbers that go to it, but it's in Van Buren, and they have a room called the event room, and they had a stage and everything set up, and you could get drinks and food or whatever there. So it was a nice little venue.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, it was pretty neat actually. It was like we were kind of excited about it because it was a smaller venue, so we were able to actually go and have like a little more up close and personal feel of the band and things like that. So
there was a young girl named Gracie Bright, and she actually did the opener, and she played acoustic guitar, and she had her voice sounded amazing in that room. I think that room was made for acoustic type performances, and it sounded really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very, very small room, so it would kind of it was definitely a lot better for Gracie than it was for Sadie's band. And we found that it was just the drums just hammered the room so much that when the drummer started playing, it was just like overtaking the space in the room. So it was a little bit harder that way. And then they had a malfunction, I think, at one point of the
smoke machine.
The smoke machine there, and so it hazed out the room so bad. At one point, you couldn't even barely see her actually. So but yeah, that was kind of we went up there for that. And like you said, we went with some friends, and I thought we'd go up and check it out. So we did, and before the show,
I'd actually tagged her a couple times on Instagram before the show, and she shared my stories on her Instagram, and that was like kind of cool, like that she shared like the stuff that I was sharing and things like that.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty cool. We were kind of excited. We're like, hey, she's actually sharing it around and things like that. And I actually get super excited when it seems like an artist is going to possibly interact with you in some sort of way or whatever. And I think that's what I like about some of these smaller artists more is they'll actually take the time to just have some sort of communication with you, whether it be something as simple as that, as like sharing around like an
Yeah.
Instagram post or whatever, just to show like, hey, they're actually interested and they're checking out what you're doing, and kind of sharing your excitement on it, I suppose, is the way to say it.
Yeah.
So
So then after the show, we actually were able to talk to her, and we got to talk to her and her manager there. It's actually her cousin is her manager. That was pretty cool. And then she told us she was performing again the next night, which was actually our anniversary, and she was performing in Springfield, right?
yeah, Springfield, Missouri. Yep.
Yep. And so he said, "Hey, we'll go. It's our anniversary." And I don't know if she actually believed us that we were going to just go to her show in Springfield.
Yeah. So I believe she had she could correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe she had the manager that's actually the manager for the opener of the next day, which was WYATT Putnam, uh, Put, Putman, sorry,
Putman, yes.
Putman. Sorry about that. Um, his manager actually signed Sadie for a couple of shows, basically got her booked for a couple of shows or whatever. So we were talking to him, and we pretty much told him we were going to come or whatever. And yeah, they all just seemed super cool people, and so it was pretty neat actually. After the show, there we got to talk to them quite a bit, and there was a few people there. Kind of went and she signed some autographs and talked to a few people, got some pictures, whatever. But then we just kind of hung out with her for a little bit afterwards, and her and the band and everything were just kind of just down to earth, cool people. So it was kind of neat. And then I kind of felt like, hey man, let's go support this, kind of new and upcoming artist, or whatever. I mean, it was not that far for us. We didn't have anything going on, so that's where we decided to drive to Springfield. So we didn't know exactly what the Springfield show was. It was, I think everybody had a couple of drinks that night or whatever, and I really didn't remember hearing kind of exactly what they had said, but they're like, yeah, it's a convention or something like that. It's kind of what we got out of it. And we didn't really look into it much further. So we tried to find tickets online and we couldn't really find anything. We thought, well,
actually, we did, but it kept going to a hunting page.
Yeah.
And we thought there was something wrong with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There wasn't a whole bunch of information on it anyway. So we drove down to Springfield or whatever, and we got there, and it was a convention center. And when we got there, we thought, well, there's an awful lot of cars here. This must be a pretty good convention. Like, and so as we walked in there, we're like, man, we had dressed up, like, well, I mean, we don't, whatever, we're not going to say we dressed to the nines, but we dressed up kind of nice or whatever, thinking it was kind of whatever, maybe a little more,
a little not more. Quite as casual as it was.
Well, when we walked in, there was a lot of not casually, I should say, there was a lot of casually dressed people there. And it was the bulk of them were men. We were kind of processing why they were all wearing hunting gear, like camouflaged everything.
And there was how many Busch Light cans in the foyer?
Yeah. I think in the one area there was probably, like, we're not even exaggerating, there's probably 1,000 cans of Busch Light just stacked up, and we're like, okay. So we went to look around for our tickets.
Yeah, so we went to go get the tickets. So we actually, we were following the signs. I will put some of the pictures of the signs up that I had. We actually were following the signs, trying to figure out where to go. And we figured out it was a convention. It was called Quest, and we didn't know what Quest was, but we're like, all right, well, this got to be the place. We've got to be in the right place. We'll just follow the signs where all these people are. I mean, obviously, that's where it's going to be, right?
Yeah.
So we follow all the signs, and we get down there, and there's a table set up, and they were signing people in, and we were like, hey, so we're here to see Sadie tonight. And they're like, oh, okay, you just have to buy the weekend pass for our convention. And we're like, oh, okay, can you tell us like a little bit about what this convention is? And they were like, yeah, so it's a white-tail deer, right?
Yeah, so it's they call it, I think, the Whitetail Convention, I believe is how they worded it.
And it's a movie festival.
Yeah, so basically what we got out of it anyways was he kind of told us that they have all these films that they've made, and they kind of showcase their stuff. Yeah, and they kind of showcase their hunting films or whatever, and we're like kind of confused here. We're like, well, what are we at the right place here? Like,
Sadie has something to do with this?
Yeah. And I believe there was a hunting picture. We never did ask her, but I believe there was a hunting picture for there, so that's kind of why she was there, I guess. Sort of.
She was entertainment.
Yeah, she was entertainment, obviously, but I think she sort of has maybe some of that background. She's actually from Michigan and whatnot, so yeah. So that was we kind of got caught off guard there. But we're like, hey man, And he's like, well, you guys can go and watch the movie thing if you want, but we decided to go have some drinks and dinner before because we hadn't eaten yet. So we ended up going over to where? Where did we go?
We went to the Fire and Ice restaurant, which was right there inside of the casino, and it was really cool. Right when you walk into the restaurant, they have this like it looks like a flame, but it's just smoke, so it kind of looks like fire and coming out. And then the bar top, actually, the whole bar top is frozen. It's ice. So when you sit up at the bar, you can put your drinks on top of that ice, like at the, what would you call it?
Yeah, there's kind of like a little spill tray that like it's kind of a whatever wavy kind of, snakes around or whatever, the bar top, and then there's like a stainless little tray, like it's a trough, and it slowly starts freezing up. So they started at the beginning of the day, and it just, as time goes on, it just gets more and more frosted up or whatever. But it's a place you can set your drink on, so your drink kind of stays cool. It's pretty cool actually, but until it gets dirty, and then they have to wash it out or whatever.
Yeah, he said, we asked the bartender about it, and he said that they don't have to. They only have to do it like once a week, and all they do is they turn it off at night, so everything melts off, and they wipe it down, and then the next day they'll put water on it again, and then over time it just gets thicker and thicker.
Yeah. So when we were walking back there, we were kind of joking as we were walking towards the restaurant. There's this huge sign that was like the questhunt.co sign, which is massive. It's just has a whole bunch of questhunt.co like written all over it, and we're like, we got to get a picture in front of this. So we stopped and we got a little clip of that where we were standing in front of it on the way.
Hey guys, how's it going? We are here. We came out for our anniversary tonight. We actually came to see SADIE Bass tonight, and we realized that it was a Quest hunting convention. Apparently it's a film festival of deer hunters that put films together.
And some music.
We're here for the music.
We only knew about the one part.
We only knew about the music. But, we always do random things on our anniversary, so here's another one to mark off the books. Happy 9th anniversary.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
We wish we would have actually done our whole show in front of the sign, because I think that would have really made it, but we didn't think about that till after.
We got caught pretty off guard, and it was pretty funny though. There was a lot of like super cool people there. They're all nice people or whatever. We were just talking to random people through the show, and everybody was just having a good time, having a few drinks and just kind of letting loose and just enjoying the weekend or whatever. So it was pretty neat.
Yeah, so then we went to go eat because we hadn't eaten all afternoon. So we decided to go to that Fire and Ice, and they had amazing food. I had their lamb curry, which was, it was probably one of the best meals I've had in a long time. And what did you have?
Chicken andouille.
Yeah, so it was like a pasta, blackened chicken pasta.
Yeah.
And of course, this show would not be complete without a beer tasting. So we actually did a live beer tasting there at the restaurant. And originally, when we were told what the beer was, we were told one of them was an IPA, which neither of us really like IPA, but we figured we'd try it because it's all they had on tap. And the other was a stout. So in our video, when I put it up, Kevin will say the stout tasted pretty good. But later on, they actually told us they were wrong, and it wasn't. It was from which brewery?
It was from
Piney
River Brewing Company in Bucyrus, Missouri. It was a black walnut dark wheat beer.
And it was actually. Are you gonna try it?
IPA.
It was actually, I don't like black walnut, and I actually really like this beer. It was a really good.
It's funny because I don't either, and I really actually enjoyed it too. What was really kind of strange about it is we drank like a significant amount. I think if I remember right, I think we drank 5 each.
Yeah.
Which is like
most people are getting to be like. That's a lot.
Most people are getting to be at least buzzed or whatever by then, and I could drink a fair bit if I really want to. But if you had 5 beers,
I'm a pretty weak.
I'd feel pretty.
Yeah.
I'd feel pretty, pretty strong. But we did not even have a buzz. So Piney River Brewing here. If you're watching this, we're gonna tag you guys in this. But if you're watching this, maybe send us some more. Maybe that was a bad batch because it felt like it didn't even have any alcohol in it. It was a very strange experience.
We actually talked about it all night because everybody there, as we said, there was cans of Busch Light everywhere. The bartender actually told us that they thought they were going to run out of Busch Light. because
Yeah.
they've never sold that much in one night before. And here we are, trying to get a little buzz on, and well, we didn't have a buzz on, but we had a lot of fun.
No, it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, it was interesting though. Like they said, he's like, this is the most amount of Busch Light we've ever sold ever. Like he's like, we literally thought that we were going to run out. And actually, they only had a handful left when we were there, and they still had a whole nother day to go yet.
So I'm pretty sure somebody was going to the liquor store before the next day.
Yeah, we had to get home for our kids, or we would have actually stayed the next day because there was more entertainment the next day. We didn't even check into who it was.
Well,
or whatever,
WYATT Putman was going to open again,
oh.
And then they had another band, which was it was a bigger band, but I don't remember the name of it because we hadn't stayed, and we were talked about it. We were like, well, we paid for the whole weekend, but we do have responsibilities, and sometimes we have to take care of our families too.
We had already went 2 days back to back there, so we figured we should probably go home and actually take care of our kids and all that fun stuff there. So yeah, so opening for SADIE was WYATT Putman. I keep wanting to say Putnam because I know a Putnam guy, but it's Putman. So if I accidentally say it wrong, you can correct me. Sorry about that.
We'll make sure we put his name on the screen here so you can look him up. He is on all of the platforms. I know he's on Spotify, Apple Music. He's on YouTube. He just actually, on our anniversary, February 16th, he just released a single, Tie Me Down. So you can check that out right now. And then on March 1st, he's coming out with a full album. So make sure you check it out. Make sure you pre-order it. Give him like lots of support. He's from Arkansas. Really good artist.
Yeah, super, super nice guy. It's actually you could just tell kind of he was a pretty genuine guy there or whatever. We didn't talk to him at first there. He was just playing. He opened, so he did an acoustic show that day. He ended up actually, like I said, had a couple new songs that he was dropping there. Played along really good. Actually, he had a really, really good voice. It was actually a really good room for that. But there was like, of course, a couple loose people in the crowd, and people get yelling. So Wisconsin was in the crowd there. If you guys are watching this, you know who you are. You were getting pretty rowdy there, but Wyatt played along pretty good or whatever, and he was in good spirits and had a lot of fun with it or whatever. So he was really enjoying it, and I'm sure they experience that all the time, so they're used to it. But yeah, everybody was having a good time there. So yeah, then after that, SADIE opened. SADIE went behind him, I should say, and man, we were pretty excited because I guess kind of what we had sort of felt the day before there was the room was so small, and we knew that we weren't really getting the full experience of what the show could have been. So when she came out and that room was what it was, you could just tell the acoustics in that room were just going to be crazy with like a full band and everything playing in there. And it was like, man, when she came out, it was sort of a similar show to the night before, but just wow, we were just amazed at how much better everything sounded. You could tell as soon as she started playing the first song, it was just like banging. And it was like the perfect, she knew how to play into the crowd. She knew what was going on. She knew how to read the crowd. And, it was pretty awesome to watch, actually. Like she had the crowd on their feet the whole time. She actually got up there. She got people up there dancing. And I mean, by the end of the night there, I mean, there was a lot of people up there, just on the floor dancing, right? So it was pretty cool. I thought it was interesting there, but yeah.
I'll have to find the clip because there was actually a song I went up and I was recording one of her songs right up there, and she actually wished us happy anniversary. So I'll see if I can find that clip in my music. It was pretty sweet of her. Like she told us, she's like, I can't be playing any slow love songs tonight because of kind of crowded it is, but I want to let you guys know I'm really happy you guys are here. And she did wish us a happy anniversary, and that was really nice of her.
Yeah, so yeah, so I always think it's kind of cool when I know like she's getting fairly big now, so she's got some people kind of helping her on the road and things like that now. She obviously has I think it's her belief it's her cousin that is her manager, and then she has like she's got the drummer and she's got the guitarist now, so it's and they're always on the move and they do a lot of things themselves, so it takes a lot of time. But I always appreciate that when people like interact like that. And so the next night her manager was sick there, so after the show they actually kind of, she was super busy, but she still took the time to come out and, like actually like just, have a little one-on-one with us or whatever. But during the show, which was like, I think to me, this was one of the coolest parts of the show is Wyatt came back out and sang kind of a rendition there with, it was a rendition of Jamie Johnson's In Color. So
but you can't say what those shades of gray keep covered. Should have seen it in color. Oh yeah.
Color. So I'm sure everybody's heard that song. I'll be totally honest. I've heard that song a million times, and I did not know who sung it originally. I actually thought it was a really, really old song, and it's older, but it's not that old actually. So I was like pretty interested. But honestly, that was they way vocal wise. Those two together way outdid the original. I felt like, anyways. I thought, man, they did an incredible job. So I've actually recorded the whole song of that. I was kind of to the side of them there, but very, very cool to see that. Of course, as time goes on, it's going to be harder as they grow and they get bigger, it's going to be harder to probably ever talk to them or, see them like up that close. We're right against the stage and be able to get good shots. And, she came in, she was with everybody, people were, kind of acting a little loose there and, sitting on the stage and stuff. And she was cool with it. She was just having fun with it, right? It was really, really cool. I really loved it. Actually, it was kind of what I wasn't really expecting, to be honest, that night. So it was something kind of different.
Yeah, it was a really good show. I mean, I honestly hope that we get to see her again. We were talking about seeing her on her next show is just going to be an acoustic show in Hot Springs. So I hope that we get to see that. I mean, I really am enjoying. I like you said, I enjoy seeing these like smaller artists and being able to connect with them because there's just more to it. You get to enjoy their music and you get to learn a little bit about them. And it's a fun experience. And after the show, we got to talk to Zach Hayes, the guitarist, which, by the way, phenomenal guitarist. We do have videos of him playing too. I mean, Sadie has top talent. It's not just like she's a really good singer. She's a really good singer with an amazing guitarist and amazing drummer. Aaron, I don't remember his name. You wrote it down. Aaron Larson. So, I mean, both amazing talents. They do make the show. I mean, Sadie has a great voice and amazing songs, but I mean, the dynamic of all of them together, I think, is what really makes it. Don't you agree with that?
Yeah, like I was kind of joking with him a little bit. We actually talked to him after the second night show there.
We talked to Zach.
We talked to Zach, the guitarist there. We were talking while Aaron was kind of taking down the drums and everything there. We were kind of teasing him a little bit, like, hey, you're doing all the work while he's over here talking to us. But I mean, they're just all super cool people. And while we were talking to them, they were just kind of telling us, like, what they do to kind of make up, because they don't have like a bass player, for example. And so they're kind of telling us how they do that type of stuff. And, it's kind of just an interesting dynamic there.
It's interesting with all the pedals and things like that, how they can make it sound like such a full band with just the two of them, really.
Yeah. And it's probably a lot of prep time, I think, to get it all just right and everything like that. But so I was talking to Sadie the night before, the first night. And actually, that's how this conversation about the second night came to be. Is we were talking, and I was like, "Hey, do you play any Terry Clark? Because she does cover songs too, right? Because obviously they do a lot of songs, and she only has, I believe, one album out now, so they do some cover songs, and of course they do that anyways. I think just to get the crowd in, because there's a lot of big songs that people know, like In Color. Everybody knows that song, for example, right? So it's a good one to draw people in. But I was teasing her a little bit there. I said, Terry Clark? And she's like, no, I don't really. And she's like, name some songs. And I told her, and she's like, I don't think so. I said, I'll tell you what, if you play one of her songs, we'll come out to your next show. And she's like, okay, well, send us 3 songs. So I picked 3 songs, and she sent them to her, and I think the next night, because they got super busy because the manager was sick there or whatever, so she was way busier than she would have normally been. But so anyway, Sadie, you owe me a Terry Clark song, and I want to hear it. So pick one of the three or three of the three. But we're definitely going to see him again.
We don't know the exact date yet, but we definitely there's a few dates that we really want to go, and she's in a couple big like music festivals this year as well. So
yeah,
that'd be really cool.
One of the ways we're kind of gearing this show a little bit is we want to start having like a little more. We want to do a little more interviews with people like this. This is the type of things that we kind of enjoy in our daily life. We see a lot of people, a lot of bands. I mean, honestly, I was just thinking back here to like the amount of bands that we've seen in the last, probably even the last 2 years. I mean, we've seen some like crazy, like Rhonda Vincent in the Rage. We saw Joe Nichols. We saw Sawyer Brown. We've seen I don't even know, man.
He's gonna name them, but I don't. Like, I'm so terrible at remembering all their names. But yes, we've seen tons of bands. We've also seen tons of like. We've gone down to Nashville and seen tons of small bands and songwriters, and I mean, just there's so much amazing talent out there, and it's like, for us, we keep talking about like where we want to go with this show, and what we really want to do is we want to go and spend time interviewing these people and like their stories and where they came from because we think it's interesting, you know.
One thing I think that we're kind of, I think as we kind of see a lot of these other people, sometimes there's people that have like the crazy talent and then they don't, like maybe they don't know what to do with it. Like we see that, and just in a lot of places, we see a lot of like, say, I don't know what you would call it, like way smaller than like say Sadie, for example, like just like getting going and they're started, trying to get going somewhere. And I mean, I can tell you there's one guy there, and I just every time I just sort of think back to a different person of just a smaller guy, I could just kind of keep giving him a shout out in a lot of different ways because I think he's just got some of the most raw, talented voice there I've ever heard, and that's Alex Smith. He says call him Alex Michael Smith. He plays at in Nashville at Alan Jackson's rooftop bar there. We saw him somewhere else.
We saw him. He did the songwriter show. That was when we went to, and I mean,
at the listening room.
The listening room is what it's called. And I mean, when he sings, he's good. But when he sings his songs, he's amazing. It's like next level. Like he writes amazing music and he sings amazing music. And I mean, we would love to see him explode. To be honest, like he's got great talent.
Yeah, and so I think we talk about that a lot. Like I talk about that a lot in social media. Like a lot of people message me through like Instagram and even through doing YouTube videos and stuff. Like I've got a TK's Garage 405 like YouTube channel where I do like automotive type stuff, and then we have this talk show, and we get a lot of questions and messages about that type of thing. And I feel like if somebody's working hard, there's enough room for everybody. Nobody needs to be kicking people into the dirt to be moving up. Like if you're a country music singer or you're a rock singer or you're a YouTuber or whatever, there's a lot of like, I mean, anybody could grow at it if you're going to work hard enough at it. And so I always feel like anytime you could give somebody else a leg up on it, like give them a little bump, give them a little help or whatever, man, I'm totally for that. So another guy there is Aaron Patrick. We love them, man. They play at the stage on Broadway there.
And awesome. We will literally go to make sure we're there when they're there because they are such good performers.
One thing I really find about some of these smaller people is they don't use their social media like to push themselves the way that they should. Like I think WYATT and SADIE do a really good job of that. Some of these other guys don't really. So I think that's a big tool. Like just my opinion, if you were somebody in Nashville and you have how many thousands of people a month go through there, tens of thousands, right, that come to your, see you at your bar or wherever you're playing and things like that, they're going to remember you if you had a way to be like, hey, Instagram, this is my handle, or check us out here. I mean, here's my Facebook page, here's my
or YouTube or whatever right? It is, like, whatever your venue is that you want to use something.
Yeah, I had a friend that told me that years ago, like, man, when you got something that sort of works, like you utilize that to the max, like so that's kind of just a couple people that we sort of see regularly or whatever. But yeah, like anyways, kind of going back to talking about them, like they're just kind of incredible talents getting going. They're early in their careers yet, but you can kind of see they're already getting some traction, and I know all it takes is meeting the right person, talking to the right person, having the right connection or whatever. And, it's such a small world. It's funny how that kind of stuff goes around and comes around, right? So, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that was
So
we were well. Actually,
it's
we, we
time.
we should probably tease. We should probably tease.
Poor Aaron.
I know.
Aaron, we're really sorry, but Zach, he really did hog the stage.
He did kind of hog the stage
when we were in Van Buren. So it was really nice. I'm going to say it was really nice when we went to Springfield and we actually got to see there was a drummer back there and not just hear him.
We really got to hear him at the first venue, but not so much at the second one. We got to hear everybody at the second one.
Yeah, the second one, though, we got to see all the performers. Yeah. So it was great. Zach, we know you're a great guitar player, but sometimes you just got to share this.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so that's what we kind of got going on for there. So I'm going to have to throw out the dad joke of the day here. What do you call a country singer that can't sing? A rancher.
I just don't even know. Like, am I supposed to laugh at this? That reminds me of another topic, but we'll save that for next time.
Yeah.
All right. So my Oklahoma fact of the day is in loving memory of the great Toby Keith. He was actually born in Oklahoma, and he decided to live in Oklahoma his entire life. And he said that the reason why, I actually read an article before the show tonight, the reason why is because he always wanted to stay close with family and friends, and he loved fishing down by the river. And I thought that was really neat that he had that connection with Oklahoma. And he actually, when he passed away in Oklahoma. So
yeah, Wyatt actually played one of his songs just to pay tribute to him. Thought that was cool too. I know a lot of people are doing that right now, but still, that's cool. A little bit of respect for somebody that's big in the industry and everything. So yeah, but well, that's kind of what we got for today there. Thanks for watching. We're having our casual Friday here, just chilling. I'm in 74-degree temperature because my wife's always cold, and I
wore a sweater so you didn't have to make it too hot.
Sweating here. Good thing I should have had an actual real cold beer with me. So this is the first time I didn't have a cold beer on site here. So this is the time I should have had it because it's actually nighttime, not morning for once.
So make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. We really appreciate it. I am free and on the road.
And I'm TK's Garage 405.
Have a great day.
Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Catch you guys in the next one.